The long road to Berlin tonight goes through Wiesbaden. This is the Brita Arena, venue for Sunday fare on the DFB-Pokal first round menu. And I must say, this has all the ingredients and makings of a highly intriguing cup tie. One that brings together a pair of promoted sides, SV Wehen-Wiesbaden, who ascended to the Zweite Bundesliga, the second division, through a playoff, and FC Köln, one of Germany's most popular clubs, the winners of the second tier last term, and now back in the Bundesliga after just 1 year away. A very good evening to you from the capital of Hessen. Derek Ray here in the commentary position. And much merriment in the area, not just because of what should be an absorbing cup tie, but also due to this being Rheingauer Weinwoche, a special week for those who appreciate fine wine, and there are many to choose from in this particular part of Germany. This match an 8,000 sellout, reduced capacity here in Wiesbaden as work continues on the Westtribüne. 1,200 have made the journey from Köln, the cathedral city, just over an hour by train. Not since the 2007-2008 season, when both sides were in the Zweite Liga, the second division of SV Wehen-Wiesbaden and FC Köln met in a competitive game, and never before have they collided in the DFB-Pokal. So look at the Wehen-Wiesbaden side. They have added defensive experience with the signing of Benedikt Røcker, previously with Brøndby in Denmark. He actually scored in the 2018 Danish Cup final for Brøndby in their win against Silkeborg. There's a place for Dominic Franke, the young left-back, only 20, signed on loan from the Wolfsburg reserve team. Sebastian Mrowca is the captain again, former Bayern youth team player and organiser-in-chief. Daniel Kofi Gere scored in both legs of the playoff win over Ingolstadt back in May. 15 goals in all in the Dritte Liga last season. Now, Köln's 200th match in the DFB-Pokal, 4 times winners. Timo Horn, of course, in goal, born in the cathedral city and associated with the club going back to 2002. 3 new signings begin the game. Kingsley Ehizibwe, right back, signed from Pek Zwolle of the Netherlands. Birger Verstraete, Belgian central midfield player, previously with Ghent. And Kingsley Schindler, who has joined from Holstein Kiel. It will be John Cordoba and Anthony Modeste in attack. You might have been reading this week that Sebastian Borneau has joined the club, but not in the starting 11. Certainly Köln fans expecting big and exciting things from him. So the pre-match scenes here in Wiesbaden, and this, make no mistake about it, is a very difficult test for Köln. The new coach, Achim Beyer-Lorzer, has been making that very point. He says in particular they'll have to pay attention to the pace of Wehen-Wiesbaden. Already in action, of course, in the Zweite Bundesliga, although they've lost their first couple of games against Karlsruhe and against Erzgebirge Aue. Bit overcast here, and there has been rain in the air. It's cooled down a bit over the course of the past couple of days. I don't suppose the players will be too worried about that. It was a surprise to many that Wehen-Wiesbaden were able to overcome Ingolstadt in the 2-legged playoff at the end of last season, particularly the way things went in the first leg at home, but they did the damage away from home. And so actually made it into the DFB-Pokal through their league efforts. They did, in addition to that, win the Hessen-Pokal, the regional cup in this part of the country, and they did so by thumping KSV Baunatal in the final 8-1. That game had to be pushed back because of Wehen-Wiesbaden's involvement in the aforementioned playoff. Jonas Hector ready to lead out Köln. Skipper again, and like Timo Horn, decided to stay with the club in the second division. Their first Bundesliga match is a difficult one away to Wolfsburg. That's coming up next weekend, but first things first, this cup assignment at a tricky venue, a small stadium and a passionate home crowd cheering on SV Wehen-Wiesbaden. And it's going to be fascinating to see who prevails. Always expect a few shocks in the first round of the DFB-Pokal. Just talked to Mainz and Augsburg yesterday, who were sent tumbling out of the cup. I think it's going to be quite the confrontation on the vocal backing front between the home fans and those who are here to cheer on Köln. And any second now, they'll walk out onto the pitch here at the Britta Arena, the stadium that goes back to 2007. Fairly modest ground. As I said earlier, renovation work has been going on. So here they come, the two sets of players representing SV Wehen-Wiesbaden and 1. FC Köln. It is the second division against the top flight, if you want to put it that way. But remember, last season Köln were in the Zweite Bundesliga, but they took care of business, winning that division, and now they're getting ready to embark upon what will be a 48th season in the Bundesliga itself. Anthony Modeste back for more, his second spell with Köln. Did go away to China for a while to play professionally. And the handshakes before the action gets underway on this rather grey, damp evening in the capital of Hessen, just across the river from Mainz, which of course is the capital of the state of Rhineland-Pfalz. So the two captains will meet. Sebastian Mrowca for SV Wehen-Wiesbaden and Jonas Hector for Köln. So Jonas Hector winning the toss. Let's see how this unfolds. The referee is Robert Schröder, born and still based in the city of Hanover. He's getting ready for what will be his second season officiating in the top flight of German football. Just got a little glimpse at the Westtribüne, or to be more accurate, what is going to become the Westtribüne, the work going on there. Kingsley Hizibwe will be at right back. Kingsley Schindler a bit higher up the pitch. The two Köln Kings, there's been a lot of talk about them in the media this week. A lot expected from Birger Verstraete in the centre of midfield. Those positions that Köln thought were problem positions seem to have been shored up. We'll find out. The action begins at the Britta Arena. Köln, the DFB Cup winners on 4 occasions. 1968, 1977, 1978 and 1983. Taking part in the 200th cup tie. And we should say it's the first competitive game for Köln under the aegis of Achim Bayerlorzer. Wehen-Wiesbaden, their hosts, have got past the first round in each of the last 2 seasons. Little chance of FC taking them lightly and trying to get onto the front foot right away. We'll expect to see Kingsley Schindler take on opposing defenders. He's already in training developed a good understanding with the other Kingsley, Hizibwe of that ilk. Lukas Vatkowiak is the goalkeeper for Wehen-Wiesbaden. That's one he would like to have back. Jorge Mere alongside Rafael Chicos in central defence for Köln. Mere, the Spaniard, hails from the city of Oviedo. Previously with Sporting Gijón. Actually a busy summer for Jorge Mere. Member of the Spain squad that emerged victorious at the European Under-21 Championship. Niklas Shipnowski went lunging in to Jonas Hector. Certainly wasn't holding back, was he? Chicos. And Mere looking to open things up. Maybe the chance for the quick-fire Wiesbaden counter. And Köln looking really dishevelled. And it's just flicked away in the nick of time by Hizibwe. Well, it was very much on for Shipnowski as he got into position, received the pass from Patterson Chato, and an early scare for Köln here in Wiesbaden. And Timo Horn had every reason to say thank you to one of the newcomers, Hizibwe. So the first corner goes to Wehen-Wiesbaden. Moritz Kuhn to take it. Forward that time by Florian Kainz, and returned to training on Thursday after injury had kept him out against Southampton last week. Köln made a lot of friends on the English south coast, I think it's fair to say. Away by Hizibwe. Here's Dominic Franke, a 20-year-old who's joined on loan from the Wolfsburg reserve team. Maxi Ditgen, and really getting stuck in is Hizibwe. Well, it's a bright start from Wehen-Wiesbaden. Pretty cramped quarters here at the Brita Arena. Mere. Hizibwe. Showing for it for Strate. Chicos. And that's overhit. No chance for Schindler. And there he is, Achim Bayerlotzer. Terrific body of work at his previous club, Jan Regensburg. Kept them in the Zweite Bundesliga with something to spare again, and attracted the attention of Köln. They feel he's a very good fit in every way. His personality seems to suit the club and the city and the region, which is always important where FC are concerned. Chicos, no foul as he went in against Daniel Kofi Cheré. Strate, I was saying in the build-up to this game, expect to see me on the ball a lot. It's how I play. Now Schindler in the advanced position for Köln. Modeste heads it back, controlled by Cordoba, but he used a hand. And the referee had a good view of Robert Schroeder. That was Chicos. Referee on that occasion said get on with it, but not here. That was fairly blatant. It is worth reminding you that under the new interpretation, a goal can no longer be scored when handball is part of the equation, even though it appears to be accidental. They've taken that out of the equation with regard to a goal now. Frustrate. Wehen-Wiesbaden, not quite. Sign from Pexvolle of the Netherlands. Actually born in Munich, but raised in the Netherlands. And now Chicos had to get there, he knew it. Patterson Chateau with the concession of a free kick. Rudiger Rehm certainly received plenty of plaudits for his work with Wiesbaden last season. Off to a sticky start in the second division, but still early days. A lot of pace about this Wehen-Wiesbaden side. It's not lost on Köln, players and coaching staff, that this is a very difficult opening assignment. The first competitive match of the season, first official game under the new coach. Hector was back that time by Chicos. Kuhn to get the return feed and succeeded. Shipnowski's pass, Niklas Shipnowski is working with Moritz Kuhn. Jeremias Lahr trying to get involved in the move as well. See the Gästeblock away to our right, the visiting section. It's part of the Südtribüne, the South Terrace here at the Brita Arena. It was built at a cost of only €14 million, the stadium back in 2007. And it comes from Hector. Cordoba just unable to do anything significant. Lahr was back there to buttress the Wehen-Wiesbaden defence. Once again Hector. Dominic Drexler. Frustrate. Drexler. Kuhn away. Jorge Meret. Wehen-Wiesbaden. And the general direction of Schindler. Signed on a free transfer from Holstein Kiel. Kingsley Schindler. Clearly offside. Benedikt Röker with it. 29-year-old defender. They felt they needed more experience in the middle of that rear guard. Wehen-Wiesbaden. He's playing alongside Sascha Mockenhaupt. Meret. Wehen-Wiesbaden. Now up there with Cordoba. Happy to go snapping into tackles, Wehen-Wiesbaden. They haven't shied away from the physical approach in the first couple of league games. 7 bookings accumulated already. Not great in the first match against Karlsruhe. Slight improvement certainly in the second half. In the match against Erzgebirge Aue. Mockenhaupt. Didn't quite work its way to Shipnowski on the right, but he takes the throw. All seems to come back into play quickly at this ground. Kainz put in the challenge. It goes spinning off Hector. And the corner chiseled out of the situation by Kuhn for Wiesbaden. And Kuhn right in front of the Köln fans, 1,200 of them. Moritz Kuhn, all hands on deck, and Modeste was one of the players back for Köln. Shipnowski goes in for it. Kuhn trying to go around the outside of Kainz. Stamped away by Chicos for Köln. Another player who used to be with Holstein Kiel. There have been a few who've gone on from there to play for Köln. Kainz. John Cordoba, great movement. Or was he just bundled off the ball? Apparently not. And for Stratet, his teammate, telling him to get back up onto his feet. Turn that time was by Drexler for Köln. Hector winning a couple of challenges, but only to Kuhn. Came off Jonas Hector. He doesn't get away with that one. Hector is moving in on Loach. Jorge Merey, Rafael Chicos, now Drexler for Köln. Did suffer pre-season losses, Köln, at the hands of Bremen, Villarreal and Southampton. Now somebody up here for the visitors, Kainz. But there to make sure nothing untoward happened was Kuhn. But it's the first Köln corner. So they get the heavy artillery forward. I've been working a lot on set pieces during pre-season. Achim Bayerlorzer has stressed that. Schindler is up there, so too Cordoba. Florian Kainz with the delivery. And it was there for Jorge Merey. He made a bit of a mess of that. Drexler, but stabbed out of play by Mockenhaupt for Wiesbaden. And into that Osttribüne. As you can see, the rain is falling on the players here at the Brita Arena. Chicos. Meat and drink really to Moritz Kuhn. Back with Lukas Vatkowiak. Achim Bayerlorzer. Very passionate and definitely has his ideas with regard to how the game ought to be played. Developed those ideas while he was on the coaching staff at Leipzig. Listening a lot to Ralf Rangnick. And the idea this season is for Köln to press early. to get the ball forward swiftly. Well, that's what they were trying to do. Marovca, this time towards Shipnowski. Hector putting in the challenge as he went down, and it's come off Jonas Hector. Kuhn forcing another corner for Wehen-Wiesbaden. It will be Moritz Kuhn to take. Former Stuttgart youth team player Kuhn sailed over everyone. Marovca confronted by Verstraete. Little touch forward was by Schindler. On the way back it goes to Vatkowiak. Bit of a chase here for Mockenhaupt. Keintz was trying to make it interesting. They've never met in the cup before, these two sides. Can they apply a bit of pressure, Wehen-Wiesbaden? And the run was made by Ditgen, Maximilian Ditgen. That's got to grind to a halt, thanks to the foul by Loach. That's been a bit of a staccato rhythm, with fouls littering the game in the early stages. Jonas Hector getting it back from Drexler. Murray, Chicos. Modeste was the man dishing it off, unable to find a teammate, and now this could be promising for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Cheré, and a good run by Shipnowski. That is going to be ruled handball against Ditgen. Rightly so. Murray was doing the covering for Köln. Really, it's going to be a very difficult start to the Bundesliga season for FC. I mentioned Wolfsburg away, then they've got Borussia Dortmund at home. They also face Gladbach, Bayern and Schalke in the first 7 match days. Good heavens. And this is no easy start in the DFB-Pokal. Keintz. All the way through for the goal kick. Thought to be a very good open communicator, Achim Bayerlotzer. And they're not really fans of stuffed shirts in the Cologne area, I can say that, spending a fair amount of time there. So with that in mind, Achim Bayerlotzer really ought to be a perfect match for the city and for the club. Verstraete. It's played towards Schindler on that right-hand side. Marovca for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Timo Horn will gather that one. Grew up supporting Köln, Timo Horn. As you tend to do when you're born in the Domstadt. He's been with the club since 2002 after 3 years at SC Rondorf. Offside on this occasion against Florian Keintz. Well, it was close. Maybe just a knee on the wrong side. worth reiterating. No VAR, but hang on. Horn was almost exposed, and that really happened in a blink of an eye as Ditgen made the dash through the centre. And Wehen-Wiesbaden once again having work to do defensively. That's twice now. I was about to say no VAR, no video assist in the early rounds of the DFB-Pokal. It will come in from the round of 16 on. Slightly uncomfortable start here by Köln. Rovta for Wiesbaden. The touch on was by Ditgen. And Chateau was always in danger of running out of space. And that's all it was. Little head flick on, and Horn couldn't get there, but having to rely on Wehen-Wiesbaden. Sound defending. Paid around €3 million to Pex Volley for his signature. Wehen-Wiesbaden. Mockenhaupt. Vatkowiak. Not afraid of the long ball approach, Wehen-Wiesbaden. And so far, you'd have to say it's paying dividends. And that is the one thing about this time of year. The teams from the lower divisions are that little bit ahead of the Bundesliga sides, preparation-wise. Rovta will lead this one for Köln to take. Sliding in was John Cordoba. First made his mark in German football playing for Mainz before the move to Köln. Scored 20 goals in the Zweite Bundesliga last season. Rovta, Wehen-Wiesbaden. Franke. It's going to be a free kick. Offside flag had gone up on the near side. Robin Brown is the assistant on the near side. Chikos. Now, mistakes manifesting themselves from Köln. Yes, it's early in the season. Meret. Headed on by Kainz. That did just stay in for him. Kuhn back to Vatkowiak. Wehen-Wiesbaden. Showing a couple of very deft moves. Now Schindler. Modeste competing for it. Well, he thought the decision was going to go his way. Anthony Modeste. Shrug of the shoulders. Not to be. He scored 5 goals in 5 previous cup matches with Köln. Anthony Modeste. Signed a deal tying him to Köln until 2023 after coming back from China. He was with Tianjin Quanjian. Chikos unable to pick out Schindler. Franke for Wiesbaden. Getting it back from Ditgen. And it's gone against Franke. Looks rather perplexed. Real commitment to attack from Wehen-Wiesbaden. the mantra in pre-season. That's what Rudiger Rehm was talking about. Many have wondered if he can get away with that as a newly promoted side. And they often tense, tight. Zweite Bundesliga. And we'll see. They've lost the first couple of matches. Easy Bue in the advanced position. It was Lohr who nodded it away for Wiesbaden. Franke. Touch didn't quite come off for Maxi Ditgen. Now Hector venturing forward. Cordoba almost got there. Stretching in was Rücker. Hector wondered for a second if he had timed the pass to perfection. That's really why Rücker was signed. A veteran who has a keen positional sense. That came off Cordoba last of all. Might have heard in the background the cry of Köln Alaf. Köln fans watching will know what that's all about. Literally Cologne above everything. And it's a chant that owes much to carnival time, which of course is a very big deal in the cathedral city and surrounding area. Well, 0-0. Rudiger Rehm's Wehen-Wiesbaden hoping to eliminate the second division champions from last season, Köln. Hector for Horn. Is well aware of the lurking presence of Ditgen. Easy Bue has been very active in this first half. Now Jorge Meret. Florian Kainz. Movement off the ball for Köln. Kainz, the Austrian. Chicos. Meret. Once again with Easy Bue. Schindler with a little touch on the ball. And they might be able to score here. Modeste. Close to it. Well, they were knocking on the door. And this is how it developed. It was Cordoba who got himself into that position for Köln. And then Modeste on the doorstep, but not quite. As they look to threaten again. And the shot took a deflection. All of a sudden, Köln waking up in an attacking sense. Strate fired that shot towards goal seconds ago. Comes to Meret. Kuhn's header for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Kainz strongly in to win it back, and there's a hole in the Wehen defence. Let's see if Köln can exploit it. Well, Drexler played it in. Easy Bue. And now Jorge Meret for the visitors. Chicos. Drexler bringing the ball under control. Cordoba tried to aim his head at it, but it actually came off Mockenhaupt, central defender for Wehen-Wiesbaden. SV Wehen-Wiesbaden promoted for the first time since 2007. Had been away from the Zweite Bundesliga for a decade. Made it by means of a play-off, but don't forget they gathered 70 points. club record for a third division campaign. And a sore one for Chicos. As he vied for it with Cheré. Chicos out to Kainz. Little touch on from Hector, still alive here for Köln. And they have to pay attention at the back, Chicos. Chateau back the way. Forward by Röcker, but to no one in particular, and it's Meret, and now Chicos as Köln build from the back once more. The last time Köln fell at the initial hurdle in the cup, you've got to go all the way back to season 2007-2008. And they were knocked out by Werder Bremen's reserve team after extra time. Meret. Schindler for Drexler as they work together. Kingsley Schindler, and Cordoba was waiting to pounce, but covering up was Kuhn for Wiesbaden. Corner forthcoming. Modeste and Cordoba in there together. It's once again going to be Florian Kainz to take it for Achim Bayerlortz's side. Referee just having a little bit of sorting out to do, Robert Schröder. Taken by Kainz along the ground, Drexler's flick. Back in there, but it's going to be easy meat for Vatkoviak. Rolling it out to Kuhn. Pressure being applied by Verstraete. Kuhn once again. Ditkin with that pass out to the left-hand side, and it starts to look promising for Wehen-Wiesbaden. But the shot was wayward. Shipnowski had gone over to the left, having played predominantly on the right in the early part of this match. Too much loft from Shipnowski. Mrowca. There's so much of the digging in midfield. Beppo, they call him. Rarely hear anyone refer to Sebastian Mrowca in these parts. Just Beppo. And it slithers out of play. Encouragement anyway for the players coming from their coach Rüdiger Rehm. Rafael Chicos. We thought he might be up against Manuel Schäffler in this game. That normally would be the case, but currently injured. And they used to be teammates at Holstein Kiel. And a big hole opens up again, which Chicos tries to cover. Kuhn. At times it's been very sloppy defensively from Köln in the first half. Wiesbaden haven't been able to take advantage so far. Pulled back by Franke. Verstraete, very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Birger Verstraete. Shipnowski. And the little touch on, it was a good idea by Cheré. Nearly worked out perfectly. Mere. Once again, Chicos. Now Drexler, and that is offside. Kingsley Schindler signed a pre-contract with Köln in January, long before Achim Bayerlorzer was brought on board. It was a very strange season for Köln in the second division. Yes, they won the league in the end. Dismissed Markus Anfang before the campaign was over. Coach who never really seemed to be the right fit for the club. Chateau. Going after it, Ditkin. Cheré, and the challenge comes in. Easy Bue. And the referee saw no wrongdoing, certainly. 0-0 it remains. Well, 2 challenges, all told. Chicos as well. First one from Easy Bue. Referee was unmoved. It is again worth reiterating, no video assist in the early rounds of the DFB-Pokal. So what the referee says at the time goes. Verstraete, new midfield general for Köln, and Cordoba getting the break of it. Fielded by Vatkoviak. Lukas Vatkoviak, born not so very far away from here in Frankfurt. Was on the books of Mainz for 5 years. I should point out that although this is the capital of Hessen, Frankfurt is very close. In fact, Wiesbaden is on the S-Bahn map. S-Bahn being the local public transportation in this area. Pretty easy for the Köln fans to get here. Just about an hour by train from Köln to Frankfurt, and then on to the aforementioned S-Bahn. Headed back by Drexler to Kainz. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Florian Kainz, delicious ball, and Cordoba with the opening goal for Köln. The first goal of the Achim Bayerlorzer era in a competitive game. And it's the best move of the match so far from FC. Florian Kainz was very purposeful, going one way then the other, and then feeding it in, and Cordoba certainly wasn't offside. Wiesbaden not coming up with any answers to that. Franke doing his best to get close to John Cordoba, but he wheeled away in celebration, and it's Köln with the lead at the Brita Arena. Vatkoviak beaten, having to pick the ball out of his own net. Well, they've had their moments in an attacking sense. Wehen-Wiesbaden unable to take advantage in front of goal themselves. Cordoba has scored for Köln, however. Schindler's pass that time, looking for Easy Bue. Chateau did well. Shipnowski, and Horn was watching it all the way. Cheré had managed to keep it in for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Mentioned earlier, they've never locked horns in a cup match, these two. But they did face each other in in the Zweite Bundesliga back in season 2007-2008. The game's going with home advantage. 2-1 to Köln at the Rhein-Energiestadion. It's 4-3 to Wehen here. In that game, a hat-trick scored by Ronny König. Cordoba, the goal scorer, is taking it away from Chateau. Wehen-Wiesbaden. Now Meret for FC. It was a bit of a shaky start to this game from Köln. They have grown in confidence going forward. Still, you've got to say they've left the door open for Wehen-Wiesbaden on a few occasions. Verstraete, really enjoyed watching his performance, I must say. That's the kind of player Köln felt they needed in the centre of midfield. Schindler, Modest in the middle, so is Cordoba, so is Kainz, and it's gone in for him this time. Florian Kainz, architect of the first goal and spectacular scorer of the second. It's all going Köln's way now. Absolutely magnificent from Florian Kainz. Well, Schindler was behind it all, and Kainz contorting his body, deadly accurate, managing to beat Vatkoviak. And Köln very much in charge. That's a moment Florian Kainz won't soon forget. 2-0 to FC. And Kainz immediately going over to say thank you to Kingsley Schindler, the man who has joined from Holstein Kiel. Special moment from Florian Kainz. And now, can Wehen-Wiesbaden come back from this? Well, it proved to be the two-punch knockout shortly before the half-time interval. Mockenhaupt featured in 36 of the 38 Dritte Liga games last season. Did have a spell in Norway with Bodø Glimt. Franke with the Wiesbaden free kick. And don't forget, they were the comeback kings, Wehen-Wiesbaden, in the playoff last season against Ingolstadt, when very few people thought they had the wherewithal to do that. Lost the first leg at home by 2-1. Managed to turn things around in the return game at the Audi Sport Park. 3-2 win for Wiesbaden in that second game. Bloch. Mrowca. Back it goes off the head of Wehen-Wiesbaden. And right on 45 minutes. Half-time in Wiesbaden, and things really are looking up for Köln, who didn't start brilliantly, but got better as the half got older. John Cordoba and Florian Kainz with the goals. Kainz also setting up the Cordoba strike, and I must say the goal scored by Florian Kainz really was something special. Off balance, but managed to turn his body around and fire it in. Wiesbaden certainly have a lot of answers to find if they are to eliminate Köln, but it's 2-0 to FC at half-time in this DFB-Pokal tie. Well, a very disappointing end to the first half of Rüdiger Rehm and Wehen-Wiesbaden. They had contributed mightily to the proceedings up until the concession of those two goals. John Cordoba with the first, set up by Florian Kainz, and then Kainz himself with a very special second goal of this cup tie. And Köln are well placed to progress to the second round. This was always going to be a tricky looking tie for Achim Bayerlorzer's side, and they didn't start brilliantly, it must be said. One or two defensive mishaps, but no damage done, and now they'll certainly expect to build from here and make certain of victory. Florian Kainz, who was also on target in this round last season, but not for Köln. At that time he was a Werder Bremen player, and he netted in the 6-1 win against Formatia Worms, not so very far from here. John Cordoba, who ended last season by getting himself sent off in the defeat at home against Jan Regensburg, then coached by Achim Bayerlorzer. The next day it emerged that he would be making the move from Bavaria to the Rhineland. So getting ready for the start of the second half here at the Britta Arena. Understandable that the sting has been taken out of the home crowd just a bit with those two goals for Köln. Toni Schumacher, Alexander Wehrle, and on the right, Armin Veh. Three gentlemen who make a lot of the big decisions with regard to the club. Armin Veh in particular on the sporting front. One-time coach of Wehen-Wiesbaden. Off they go then. The second half begins, and it's Köln playing towards their own supporters. Attacking the goal to our right. And still with plenty of confidence, thanks to the goals courtesy of Cordoba and Kainz. Here's Chicos. Chested back by Franke to Lukas Vatkowiak. He's going through his goalkeeping paces earlier with Marian Petkovic, the goalkeeping coach for SV Wehen-Wiesbaden. Pass by Rücker, Vatkowiak again. Well, for any lower division side, quite the financial carrot, €351,000 for progressing to round two. Wiesbaden, no two ways about it, are going to have to do quite a bit of heavy lifting in this second half. Geré. Chateau offering support. Just missed out Franke, and it comes to Ditgen. Maximilian Ditgen, fronted by Hizibue. Just lost his footing at the end of that, but sure-handed Timo Horn. And he decides to go direct all the way up to John Cordoba. Hizibue having difficulty containing Ditgen. Well, he hasn't done much wrong in this match. Hizibue, to be fair, I'm sure on the balance of things, Achim Bayerlorzer will be very happy with his performance. I know one or two of you might think that's quite a difficult name to say on the training ground at the Geisbockheim. They call him simply Easy. Can understand why. Ditgen, it's that same confrontation, and Ditgen having his way with Hizibue in the first couple of minutes of the second half. Just away by Hector that time for Köln. Thought about going after it, then saw it and gone skidding through to Vatkowiak. Off the boot of Mockenhaupt. Free kick it's going to be in favour of SV Wehen-Wiesbaden. was very well done indeed by Géré earlier. He eventually played it out to Ditgen. Daniel Kofi Géré, born in Ghana, he spent his footballing years here in Germany. Achim Bayerlotzer looking a bit puzzled, and a free kick it is to Wehen-Wiesbaden. Maximilian Ditgen hails from Meurs near Duisburg. Used to play for Kaiserslautern. And he made it look easy that time. Kingsley Ehizibwe leaving it all together, letting it go through for the goal kick. Jonas Hector. Here's Birger Verstraete. Chicos. Jorge Meret. Ehizibwe. Once again with Chicos. Just waiting for a mistake to manifest itself. Was Géré. Back it goes to Horn, and here's Verstraete. Helped his former club Gent get to the 2019 Belgian Cup final. Well, they lost in that decider against Mechelen. Now making the forward dash is Drexler, runs out of space. Small, intimate stadium, the fans close to the action. Nodded away by Chicos for Köln. They are unbeaten, Köln, against lower league opposition in the Cup, going all the way back to December, or back to 2010, December of that year. And they went down to MSV Duisburg. Remember last season at this stage they thrashed BFC Dynamo in the capital, 9-1. 4 of the goals coming from Simon Terodde, who's on the bench tonight. Verstraete, his first official game wearing the colours of FC Köln, is shown the yellow card. Well, this is what happened. Mockenhaupt there. And then Verstraete, he didn't feel he had done too much wrong, but adjudged to have taken out Shipnowski. So yellow it is for the Belgian. Early stages of the second half. Maximilian Ditgen stands over it, played for a few big clubs in his youth. He was at Dortmund and Schalke and Nuremberg. Ditgen in there. Shipnowski decided that the only real avenue open to him was to go into reverse and play it to Vatkowiak. As we've seen from him, not afraid to play that direct ball through the middle. Ditgen, little jinking run, and then he takes on the shot, and in it goes for Wehen-Wiesbaden. They're back in the match. Jeremias Loch and Timo Horn inexplicably unable to do better, and it's just what Rudiger Rehm wanted to see. Well, it's an error by Horn as they jump up and down in the Nordtribüne. Wehen-Wiesbaden are back in it. I must say there was scant evidence that a goal for the home side was on the cards. But it has arrived thanks to Jeremias Loach. Not Timo Horn's finest moment. Here's Verstraete. He was shown the yellow card not long before that. And there by Kainz. Schindler for Ehizibwe as he takes over. And the ball comes off Morovca. The captain was back there, but Ditkin, well, he deserves credit for the run he went on to get the break of the ball. And Horn, well, that is disappointing goalkeeping. Someone of Timo Horn's calibre just pushing it straight into the path of the grateful Loach. And all of a sudden, the equation is different. 2-1. Verstraete. Kainz. Well, that wasn't very subtle from Ditkin. Ehizibwe on the receiving end. Not sure why on earth Ditkin thought he was going to get away with that. That protest he did. Completely took him out. Verstraete, one of the players standing over it. Kainz is there as well. Verstraete into the wall. And taking one for the team was Rucker. Still a bit shaken up, Benedikt Rucker. Former Dynamo Dresden player before he was in Denmark with Brøndby. Spells at Greuther Fürth and at Stuttgart, originally from the Stuttgart area. Franke. Well, Wiesbaden imbued with a bit of confidence. And Loach, and there it is, the equaliser. It's another one from Loach for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Quite the turnaround at the beginning of the second half. Chateau's pass, Loach, speculative effort, and Horn with the dive, but just couldn't get there. In off the post. And Jeremias Loach at the double for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Well, could this be shades of what we saw yesterday in the DFB-Pokal? Hoffenheim were seemingly cruising, 2-0 in front. All of a sudden, from seemingly nowhere, Würzburger kickers came back to draw level at 2-2. It went to extra time. Hoffenheim scored again, but Würzburg replied, and that was decided by means of a penalty shootout, ultimately in Hoffenheim's favour. But Köln really have gone to sleep a bit in the first few minutes of this half. 2-2 now. And another yellow card, this time Cordoba. And they know they've got to keep their cool as well, the Köln players. Having just conceded 2 goals in short order, Rüdiger Rehm delighted with the spirit and the endeavour shown by his Wiesbaden players. Drexler. That's going to be a free kick in Drexler's favour. It goes against Morovca. Well, he cannot beat the first round of the DFB-Pokal. for thrills, for surprises, for tales of the unexpected. And this is certainly one, given what happened in the run-up to the half-time interval. 2 goals for Köln. And now they've shipped a couple. Level pegging. Wehen-Wiesbaden. Drexler covering there behind him. There's not an awful lot of defensive cover all told. It's Chicos who gets there just before Géré. And now Horn. Right, to judge the bounce of the ball, Shipnowski. No free kick there for Anthony Modeste. Wiesbaden carry on. Ditgen. Well, not his first offence. As he stepped on Wehen-Wiesbaden. Probably a bit lucky he wasn't cautioned for the earlier offence. And again, the referee decided not to caution him. John Cordoba scored the opening goal, but he has now been replaced by Simon Terodde, and Achim Bayerlotz are just explaining his reasoning, already cautioned. And you have a ready-made replacement in Terodde, top scorer in the Zweite Bundesliga last season, 29 goals in all. Two goals apiece. We thought this would be a fascinating confrontation. That's how it's turning out. Franke. Drexler for Köln. He's going to leave it for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Terodde doing his best to control it. Back it goes to Horn. We've gone past the hour mark. Köln, who did win 5 matches in pre-season, lost to Bremen, Villarreal and Southampton. But they won the tournament in Cologne, which also involved Werder Bremen and VfL Osnabrück. Another of the teams promoted from the Dritte Liga to the Zweite Bundesliga, the second division, along with SV Wehen-Wiesbaden. Karlsruhe, the other in that category. Lorch certainly stamped his authority on this cup tie. Achim Bayerlotz, who looked on as his Jan Regensburg side crashed out of the DFB-Pokal this time last season, losing to Chemie Leipzig. Another defeat this year for Jan Regensburg at the first hurdle. Lost earlier to Saarbrücken, Regionalliga side. That's the 4th tier. Kuhn to take it. Mockenhaupt. Vying for it with Hector was Shipnowski. And it will be Jonas Hector to throw it back in play for FC. That is how they are referred to by fans of the club. Everyone here in Germany knows who you're talking about when you say FC. Schindler, Terodde, one of the players waiting. Kainz controlling it. He's got it back from Drexler. Chipped in by Kainz. And Modeste Try to swivel around and make contact with the ball. Much in the manner that Kites did earlier in this game. Timo Horn's mistake really looms large now. Lorch with the first goal. Lorch with the second goal for Wiesbaden in off the post. Marco Höger is about to come on, I'm hearing. Looks like that's it for Drexler. Nere goes in, up against Ditgen. And the referee's whistle brings an end to that. Just straying. Horn unable to get all the way over. And Wiesbaden level now. Was offside against Ditgen earlier on. Mentioned Marco Höger at the ready for Köln. More defensive-minded option in midfield. So Drexler bids goodbye to the game. Höger, another of the players in the Köln squad to have grown up in the area, in the Darmstadt. Former Schalke and Alemannia Aachen player. Very combative. His 18th DFB-Pokal appearance altogether for his various clubs. Has scored 3 goals in this tournament. Chateau showing patience. Lorch and Hector has tried to get to the ball before Shipnowski. And that is going Wiesbaden's way, and Hector is absolutely living. Well, he put in the tackle. He thought that was a fair one, and I must say it appeared to be. But Köln have more defending to do. Höger will likely be part of that, given his usual comportment. Maximilian Ditgen charged with the task of taking the Wehen-Wiesbaden free kick, and Horn getting the touch on the ball. The whistle sounds. Free kick decision in favour of Köln. And there it was, can't really argue with it. Here's Höger. Schindler taking on Franke and managing to beat him comprehensively, and it's headed behind for the corner by Shipnowski. So Florian Kainz going over there to take it. Look at the Köln end, the Gästeblock. Rain still coming down here in Wiesbaden as Kainz takes the corner. Not accurate enough. Höger at the tail end of that. As we move towards the midway point of the second half. And they had Schindler there at the near post. Too much on it. And 2-2 it remains. Kowiak. Oh, and that's a mistake. Forward by Schindler. Here's Modeste. With an important challenge by Mrowca, the Wiesbaden captain. All came from slackness by the keeper, but Kowiak, but Mrowca really playing his part. Well, the Köln fans willing one in. Got themselves into a wonderful position in this game and then threw it away. 2-0 to 2-2. Kainz, but Kowiak getting his fists to the ball. Verstraete. Kainz once again. Now Meret. Ehizibwe. Kainz, and another corner coming up. Ball went spinning off Mrowca. They are tremendous fans. Plans are afoot to increase the capacity of the Rhein-Energiestadion. Never enough tickets in Köln. Verstraete played it in initially. Headed by Géré for Wiesbaden. Ehizibwe. Franke was staying with him, so to Mockenhaupt. Free kick it's going to be in favour of Köln. Well, tension-packed, to say the least, on this Sunday night. Not that anyone in the Köln camp thought this was going to be straightforward. Kainz with it, but Kowiak away. Hector back in there. It was Röker who got his head to it for SV Wehen-Wiesbaden. Florian Kainz. Now who will it drop for? Well, there is the answer. As Kowiak reaches up. Ehizibwe taking aim. But Kowiak couldn't afford to take any chances with that one. Ehizibwe with a crisp shot on the left glove of Kowiak. Kainz with the latest corner. This time into the clutches of Kowiak, and that should alleviate the pressure for now. That's one set piece after another for Köln, seemingly. They foul by Marco Höger. Franke. Ditgen. Was caught there by Ehizibwe. He's had a more difficult time of it in the second half. Can they find a piece of magic? Wehen-Wiesbaden really turn this tie on its head after being 2-0 down against Köln. Letting it bounce there, and back it goes to Timo Horn, headed back by Chicos. Kainz. Marco Höger with the touch on the ball. Once again, Rafael Chicos. Meret. Terode with a switch to Florian Kainz. Operating on the right now, and it came off Franke. Made it a little bit more difficult for Kowiak. And there. Deflection of Franke. Test of everyone's mental fortitude. Achim Bayerlotzer did say, in his opinion, this was, in terms of the draw, about as difficult as it could have been for Köln. They try to catch them out. Here the home side. Away again by Höger, positioned just in front of the defence. Chateau's pass, but there was Ehizibue, and Kainz trying to make it difficult for Höger, but moved over from his central defensive position. It is always a week of celebrations in these parts. Rheingauer Weinwoche, big wine festival that goes on for 9 days in total, just started on Friday. The home fans would like to have another reason to celebrate, namely knocking out Köln. Kainz, but Köln have their own views on that subject. Terodde was denied. Chance still on, and Modeste trying to get his toe to the ball. Well, Terodde initially had the opportunity created by Florian Kainz. Downward header from Terodde, but Kowiak acquitted himself well enough. Schindler was in there, so too Modeste. Wouldn't go in for Köln. But Kowiak really fired up, as we saw. Really difficult to say how this is going to end up. Possibility of extra time. Taken by Franke, and the flick was from Ditgen. Got it back from Géret. Maxi Ditgen flashing one in. Wouldn't quite fall for Lohr, who was fouled anyway. Just bringing down Florian Kainz, who now finds himself on the left once again for FC. See the shape. Hector has gone cantering forward on the left. Verstraete covering for him for the time being, just showing for the ball. Verstraete on it now. There's a bit of a hole in the Köln defence. Chikos wasn't quite sure where he ought to go. Shipnowski, Höger with a header. And that is a foul by Mockenhaupt, and a yellow card for the 27-year-old central defender. Former Leverkusen youth product. Began his senior career at Kaiserslautern. One man we haven't spoken about for Köln, obviously not involved for this game, but will be heavily involved once the Bundesliga season gets started. Elias Skiri, Tunisian international, still on holiday after his Africa Cup of Nations exertions. Here's Terodde. Schindler. And it was over everyone. Kainz usually knows how to deliver a ball. Terrific play from Kainz. And Modeste, free kick. And he can't really believe it. Anthony Modeste. Rueful shake of the head here on the Wiesbaden rain. Florian Kainz. This ball earlier for Simon Terodde, and Kowiak fully stretched. Allowed himself a little mini celebration after making the save. Terodde foiled. Chikos comes off the head of Jonas Hector. Modeste towed away by Brugge for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Well, they've looked pretty organised for much of this game. problem so far, the early part of the league season, has been conceding goals. Everyone knows they can score them, though. They've come up with 2 in the second half, having trailed 2-0 at half-time. Hector. And nothing will come of that from the Köln point of view. Well, they're always likely to make plenty of noise, even though there are only 1,200 Köln fans in attendance. Such an iconic football club. Spürbar anders, as they say in German. You can certainly feel the difference, sense the difference. Not many other clubs have a billy goat as a mascot, for example. But a new Hennes for this season, Hennes the 9th. He'll be making his official debut shortly. Was in attendance at the big kick-off event in the Cathedral City last week. Almost 50,000 turned up for that. Tells you how special a club Köln are in the city and environs. Hizibue playing it in towards Modeste. It's Jonas Hector who has a go. Couldn't quite keep a shot down, the Köln captain. Just rising a bit. Well, he's never previously scored in the DFB-Pokal. He managed 6 goals in the Zweite Bundesliga last season for Köln. And that was a bit untidy from Hizibue. It's going to be a free kick. Höger was in the vicinity. Less than 10 minutes to go. If it stays this way, extra time is coming up. Well, not as smooth as Achim Bayerlotzer was visualising, I'm sure. Timo Horn, big part of the narrative. His mistake going back to the first Wiesbaden goal. Plenty of bodies back there for Köln after Kuhn had played it in. Franke with the throw. Loan from the Wolfsburg reserve team, was part of the Leipzig setup for a while. Now, the chance is on for Köln to break at pace. Keitz, great ball, Simon Terodde. Well, it didn't work out. He had Modeste in support. Should he have been a bit more selfish? Keitz, and that was a neat threaded pass. And he tried to give it to Modeste, but in stepped Benedikt Rücker. Just picked up a slight injury by the look of things, Rücker. And thwarting Terodde. Still the rain comes down here in Wiesbaden, a soggy Sunday. That was the joust earlier. Modeste versus Mockenhaupt. That undoubtedly made it simpler for Köln, the numerical situation favouring them. Hector. Meret kept going. Now he's got to canter back to his defensive position. And Terodde went down for Köln. Seen plenty of mistakes out there from both sets of players. It's often the way of it in the first round of the DFB-Pokal so early in the season. And Hizibue is down. It was actually Keitz who had gone to ground on the right for Köln, just as the earlier move was developing. That's what I was talking about. Lost his balance on this surface. So Wehen-Wiesbaden requiring treatment. Well, what do they make of it all? Tony Schumacher, Alexander Werle, Armin Veh. Mixed bag from Köln, really. Wehen-Wiesbaden there. Well, they both went down together. Terodde making his way over for a bit of refreshment. Franke was the other man involved in that tussle with Wehen-Wiesbaden. Well, Franke has put in an impressive shift. A yellow card picked up, just going back to the incident earlier. Saw the referee flash it in his direction. Two goals apiece. Plenty of drama in this first round tie. We've seen that throughout the weekend so far. Back on the pitch, Wehen-Wiesbaden. Marco Höger towards Kingsley Schindler. Here again is Höger. Schindler for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Terodde is waiting in the centre. Wehen-Wiesbaden, and the header does come in. Strate was trying to test Vatkoviak. Moving closer and closer to extra time. Spoke to a couple of Köln fans on the way in today who thought that it might well go to extra time, this game here in Wiesbaden. Not there yet. Jorge Mere. Marco Höger missing out the midfield area. Now, was there a shove? It looked like it by Mockenhaupt. No, apparently Modeste was convinced. I thought he had a case. Robert Schröder saw no wrongdoing, and Mockenhaupt, remember, had already been cautioned. Here's Schindler. Trying to drag the ball forward. Mere. Chicos. Now with Strate, that's going to be a free kick. And Loach, for his indiscretion, will be booked. The two-goal Wiesbaden hero. Now, that certainly was a push by Mockenhaupt, and it should have been a free kick to Köln, and it also would have been a red card for Mockenhaupt, you would think. Second bookable offence. The referee saw nothing wrong. And it comes from Keitz, and Modeste with the snap header. Not on the target, though. Frustrating for Köln. Another good ball from Florian Keitz. Didn't really middle it, Modeste. Achim Bayerlorzer and Köln might have to ready themselves for extra time here at the home of SV Wehen-Wiesbaden. These yellow cards that have been picked up can become so important once you get to extra time. Modeste doing the playmaking. Terodde, Kainz off to the left. Schindler inside the box. Höger has joined him, but held by Vatkoviak. Certainly Köln looking the likelier side in an attacking sense. They're really going to be kicking themselves for letting in those 2 goals. Fairly quick succession at the beginning of the second half. Both scored by Jeremias Loch for Wiesbaden. Marvin Adjani is going to be coming on. By the look of things, I think that's going to be it for Patterson Chateau. Shunning the chance to go to the bench prior to this. Rüdiger Rehm. Back the way goes Franke. Shortly we'll find out exactly how much stoppage time will be added on. There is the electronic board, first of all, to tell us about the substitution. And it is going to be the one that we suggested would occur. Chateau going off, Adjani coming on, and 3 added minutes. There's the answer to the previous question. Marvin Adjani on then. And that looked like a foul, certainly, yes, in favour of Géré. Verstraete is having a defensive job to do. And the Köln defenders know they've really got to show full focus. Moritz Kuhn and Maxi Dittgen standing over it for Wehen. It is Dittgen with the left foot. Too much elevation. Unless they're going to be late drama in stoppage time. Or will it come down to extra time here at the Britta Arena? Jorge Meret. Höger's pass. Modeste. Schindler. They're queuing up in there for Köln. Anthony Modeste, goal kick. And will that be the last chance to prevent extra time in this cup tie? Doesn't look all that convincing in front of goal, Modeste. Partnered by Terodde now. Cordoba started the game and scored. It's headed down by Höger. Must give Köln that extra bit of midfield protection. Loach with the latest foul. Meret. Chicos. Kainz doing the wriggling. Hector takes over. Hector, the captain. Franke gone pinching into the centre. And that will be a Wehen free kick, and not for the first time. Hector is dismayed. And showing his annoyance at the situation. And now we have had the 3 additional minutes. Vatkoviak, forward it goes. Extra time is coming up. Köln, who were leading by 2-0 in Achim Bayerlotzer's first competitive game in charge, letting that lead slip. A pair of goals in the second half from Wehen-Wiesbaden. And so it is after 90 minutes plus stoppage time. SV Wehen-Wiesbaden 2, Köln 2. Well, what's going to happen in extra time? That remains to be seen. Köln did create chances after the double from Lorch for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Couldn't put them away. The story of this game, John Cordoba with the first goal after Florian Kainz had set it up. Then Kainz with his scissors kick. Almost a slow motion scissors kick, but perfectly placed. Couldn't have been any better on that front. Timo Horn with a bad mistake to let Wehen-Wiesbaden back in it. The goal by Jeremias Lorch, and Lorch was to score his and Wehen's second with help from the post. And just like that, 2-2, rhythmic stuff. Well, the Köln players all together, just trying to get themselves ready for the first period of extra time, listening to the words of fairly animated Achim Bayerlotzer. This was always going to be an examination for FC against a second division side, albeit a team just promoted after a decade away from the Zweite Bundesliga. Köln, who won the Zweite Bundesliga, the second division, last season, to make their way back into the top flight. Have been something of a yo-yo team, a Fahrstuhlmannschaft, as they say here in Germany in recent years. Didn't used to be that way. One of the Bundesliga originals, but since the late 90s, really, it has been that way. Of course, they went from being in Europe to facing relegation in the same season. Really bizarre turn of events. Toni Schumacher, such a wonderful Köln and West Germany goalkeeper. Part of the decision-making process. Alexander Wehrle in the middle, and Armin Veh is also there, the sporting director. Squad planner, if you like, responsible for bringing in the likes of Ehizi Bue during the summer. Schindler as well. Now, really worked up is Rüdiger Rehm. He can be that sort of coach. Very passionate. Was a winner of the youth DFB-Pokal way back in 1996 with Heilbronn. Well, everyone getting full value for money on this Sunday night. 30 more minutes, and maybe it'll go beyond that, maybe to a penalty shootout. I'll just ask Hoffenheim about that. They had to experience the drama of penalty kicks before they prevailed against Würzburger Kickers yesterday evening. So almost ready for the first period of extra time. Who's going to go through here? Will it be a happy trip home for those Köln fans? Or is it going to be Wehen-Wiesbaden springing a surprise against the second division champions from last season? Underway then, extra time at the Brita Arena. And it's Wehen-Wiesbaden, who were 2-0 down, got it back to 2-2, attacking the goal to our right. Playing towards the south end of the stadium. Verstraete was never going to be favourite in the air against the much taller Lorch. Jarret just left it. Lorch was behind him, as we saw earlier in the match. Not afraid to shoot from out there. Former Stuttgart youth player, then had a spell at Freiburg. Was with Sonnenhof Groß Asbach until 2017. I mentioned Heilbronn earlier with regard to Rüdiger Rehm. It's the hometown of Jeremias Loach. Heilbronn in the southwest. Chicos for Köln. Here's Kainz hugging that left-hand touchline. A switch back and forth from left to right in this game. Set up the first goal and scored the second for Köln. A terrific goal it was. Easy Bue. The header was by Ajani, who came on in the dying embers of the 90. Replaced Patterson Chateau. So it means they have options galore in terms of substitutes. Wehen-Wiesbaden. Maybe you get an extra one nowadays in extra time. So 4 altogether. Höger gets the ball back. He has targets in there. Modeste, one of them. Terodde as well. They were joined by Florian Kainz. Hector. Kainz. Verstraete. Now the defender, Jorge Meret, trying to get himself forward. They'll go with that ball, and Terodde trying to finish it off twice, having been set up in the first place by Schindler. It all happened so quickly. Thumbs up from Terodde. He liked what Schindler offered. Just couldn't quite do it. Simon Terodde. There was Vatkoviak, so let's give him credit. Then the post. The angle really wasn't there for Simon Terodde. Another of those punching the air and delight celebrations from Lukas Vatkoviak. Very pleased with himself. Two goals apiece. And now in extra time here in Wiesbaden. Headed on by Modeste for Terodde. Kainz. Too long and too strong off the boot of Florian Kainz. A little bit of an injury doubt this week. The former Werder Bremen man who joined in January. Signed a 3.5-year deal at the time. Jonas Hector. Ajani was trying to go after it. Ajani, who joined in the summer from Hallischer FC. Making the move up in terms of the divisions. Verstraete. Pass by Meret. Chihos had his work cut out for him. Now Hector did so very well. Kainz wriggling. And that's very much the game of Florian Kainz. It's Terodde offside. Now just drifting into that illegal position. Well, it was so close. And the flag going up, of course, if we had video assist, and the flag wouldn't have gone up as quickly. So that's what the officials are instructed to do nowadays. Wait. Should the ball go into the back of the net, and it's that close, then video assist can sort it all out. Michel Niemeyer, I can tell you, is going to be coming on for Wehen-Wiesbaden. We're hearing that that's the end for Maximilian Dittgen. Niemeyer, who is left back, was with Magdeburg, got relegated with Magdeburg from the Zweite Liga, the end of last season. There is the change that sees Ditgen go off. One left-sided player for another. Still a couple of personnel changes available to Rüdiger Rehm. Meret for Köln. Schindler is playing it back the way. Well, the pass was too strong for Kingsley Schindler. Achim Bayerlorzer surveying the scene in this first period of extra time. Chihos getting his head to it. Might not be seeing a lot of first team action. We'll see how it works out. Sebastian Borno having joined the club. And Köln fans very excited about him. Every reason to be. Having honed his game at Anderlecht in Belgium. Enticing with a bit of danger there. Timo Horn, that took confidence. One more look at Horn. Wasn't really bothered that Niemeyer was up there. Strate. He was beaten to it in midfield by Mrovca, doing the ball winning, the captain. Adjani. They play on here, Wehen-Wiesbaden. Wasn't the best of balls from Daniel Kofi Géré. Rot, Schwarz, Gold, that's how they refer to themselves. Red, black and gold. Wehen-Wiesbaden, founded way back in 1926. Only added the Wiesbaden part to the name as recently as 2007. And the charge might be on here for Köln. Schindler pulling it back but away by Mockenhaupt. It does look as though Wehen-Wiesbaden are going to make another substitution shortly. Michael Guthörl to come on. And Louis Schaub, I think, is going to be given a run for Köln. It could be the end for Schindler. We'll wait to officially confirm that. Franke, misplaced pass. And the referee's whistle. Once again, Köln trying to construct from the back, using Jorge Meret. Kainz, Hector, plenty of space. And Meret, wrong man really. Misdirected. Well, he gave the thumbs up to Hector. And so now comes the change for Köln. Louis Schaub on for Kingsley Schindler. Well, thanked for his efforts by Achim Bayerlorzer. Saw quite a bit of Schaub last season. the Austrian. Actually qualifies for Austria through his mother. Very much a ball player. Questions have been raised as to whether he's really going to fit into the Achim Bayerlotzer system on a regular basis and get a lot of game time. We'll see about that in the future, but he's on for Köln in extra time. And I mentioned that Michael Guthörl was going to be deployed by Rüdiger Rehm. That is what is happening here. So Guthörl on, and off goes Shipnowski. Very versatile player, often to be found at right back, but equally in midfield. And it comes for Wehen-Wiesbaden. There to grab hold of it, Timo Horn. Two goals apiece. Köln were 2 up at half-time. We wondered if they might race away with it. Not so at all. Kainz. Modeste might feel he hasn't seen enough of the ball. Often he's the kind of striker you forget about, and then he pops up and quickly scores, and then again. It's forward by Louis Schaub. Free kick it is. Mrowca strolls away from the scene of the crime. Moving towards the end of this first period of extra time. An endurance test for everyone. Sometimes what you have to go through in the first round of the DFB-Pokal. Florian Kainz spotting the ball. Hector actually took it. One bounce and into the clutches of Lukas Vatkowiak. Action spilling over to the other end. Doing the defending, Ehizibwe. Just fending off his opponent, Niemeyer. Had to go off fairly early against Erzgebirge Aue because of an adductor injury. We wondered if he might start this game, Niemeyer. He didn't. Rücker. Vatkowiak for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Here is Hector. Kainz. In many ways the most creative Köln player on show this evening. Meret. Now with Ehizibwe. Louis Schaub. Just like to bring the ball under control, dip the shoulder and see if he can dupe his opponent. Chicos unable to get it beyond Rücker. He's been a tower of strength back there for Wehen-Wiesbaden, partnering Mockenhaupt, although Mockenhaupt perhaps could have been sent off earlier. Now, how about this from Wehen-Wiesbaden? Ajani going one way, then the other. Wide of the target. Marvin Ajani. And Köln were on the back foot. In particular, Chicos. He was certainly fooled. And with that, the first period of extra time comes to an end. Still 2-2. Well, life signs from Wehen-Wiesbaden. Ajani it was who received the pass from Mrowca. The referee waving play on. He might have been fouled, but the advantage accruing to the home team. Chicos really was all at sea. Close shave for Köln. Chance for the players to get a bit of a breather. And for Köln, this is the first competitive match of the new season. Tony Schumacher is the gentleman standing up there. Alex Wehrle, Armin Veh by his side, and day has become night. Just a hint of a red sky. Not sure who the shepherds are, or the sailors, depending upon how you use that turn of phrase in your particular part of the world. Achim Bayerlorzer looking very determined, very purposeful. On a bit more ad hoc where Wehen-Wiesbaden are concerned. First round of the DFB-Pokal. The road to Berlin, going through the capital of Hessen. And we'll see what sort of weather is on the way. Köln were 2 in front, seemingly strolling to victory. But a rude awakening at the beginning of the second half. Two goals for Wehen-Wiesbaden in the early part of that second half, cancelling out the two Köln goals towards the end of the first 45. Now here we are in the second period of extra time. And Modeste looking for Schaub, but tidying up was Mockenhaupt for Wehen. A tension-laden evening, certainly. Jumping up for it, Verstraete, not the tallest. Louis Schaub. Here's Höger flicking it through. Terodde. He's Boué. And he'll have to be content with a throw. Still providing terrific vocal backing, the Köln fans. In the Südtribüne. And a corner it's going to be here for Köln. Köln, as those fans refer to the club, in addition to FC. Take your pick, really. Florian Kainz. Schaub, and a ferocious shot from Louis Schaub. Will that prove to be the match winner? Off the bench to magnificent effect. Louis Schaub restores Köln's lead in Wiesbaden. It all came from the Kainz corner. An inability on the part of Wiesbaden to clear their lines. And Louis Schaub didn't need a second invitation. Fulminating drive. And perhaps the goal that will put Köln ahead for good. Vatkoviak unable to get there. 3-2 FC. Inspirational from Louis Schaub. I mentioned earlier, a real favourite of the Köln fans when he played in the second division last season. And now Wehen-Wiesbaden have got to rouse themselves again, as they did at the start of the second half. Just got it away in the nick of time, but Koviak. Terodde. And here is Schaub. Well, that's what he's capable of. Lovely skill. Höger. Just Trying to direct it to one of his teammates. Wehen-Wiesbaden. And down he goes. Challenge from Niemeyer. Louis Schaub, watch this again. Almost making fun of Rucker. But he is that sort of player. There's a refreshing, old-fashioned quality about Louis Schaub. Wehen-Wiesbaden going down. Watch again this magical moment for Köln, provided by Louis Schaub. Totally single-minded, packed with power. Cause for celebration on the Köln bench. Now being helped up there. Wehen-Wiesbaden. Achim Bayerlotzer just tries to explain one or two things to his new midfield general, Birger Verstraete. €4 million signing from Ghent. Köln in control now. Can they keep the lead and make certain of their presence in the second round of the DFB-Pokal? Heinz have tried to work something. Okay, Murray. We'll see the decision go his way. Matthias Bader is the player to come on for the injured Wehen-Wiesbaden. Got the impression he enjoyed himself out there. Fully committed. Yes, he made one or two mistakes in the second half. That was their saviour in the first half to a large extent. Now Modeste, acrobatically away by Loach. The whistle has gone. I suppose it's more of the same from Rüdiger Reim's side when you think about the matches so far. Too many goals conceded, too many high-scoring affairs. 3-2 it was against them in the last match against Erzgebirge Aue. Went down 2-1 against Karlsruhe SC. Just trying to get into the high-up position. And that's what happened. Chicos putting in the challenge up against Guthurl. Timo Horn being very vocal there, as it's a free kick in a position of menace. Kuhn to take it. Can Wiesbaden answer Köln again? Niemeyer trying to lay it off for Loach. Niemeyer once more. Low shot, and that's going to be dealt with by Timo Horn. 8 minutes remaining in the second period of extra time. There was a bit of tussling going on. Niemeyer did get the shot away. Now at the other end, almost something for Terodde. Over the years has been the prince of Zweite Liga poachers. Man who knows how to score in the second division. And those who say he's not quite good enough for the top flight. But whatever way you look at Simon Terodde, he is a natural goal scorer. And such a player is always going to be in demand. Came on earlier in this match for John Cordoba after he had picked up a yellow card. Probably say canny management by Achim Bayerlotzer. Bojan Kainz, brought down by Marvin Ajani. They have had most of the possession in this game, Köln. And the FC fans will be saying thank goodness for Kainz, the former Werder Bremen player. As he was superb in the first half. An assist and a goal. Play is going to continue here. Ajani and Gudhurl over on that right-hand side. Rücker was the man who went down and still not moving all that freely. But it's opening up for Lorch. Gets it back, Lorch for Wehen-Wiesbaden. And again, Köln had to dig deep, just sagging a bit in the last couple of minutes. Not in the bag yet for FC. Terodde did well that time. Nostrate back to Simon Terodde. Now Anthony Modeste, offside. Offside. Well, the timing was off between Terodde and Modeste. Probably just. Left boot. Bada was back there to get it away for Köln. Now Kainz, and still full of running in the second period of extra time. Just have consistently misfired and trying to pick out Anthony Modeste in this game. Köln. Kuhn, still possibilities for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Berger was back there to become the extra defender for Köln. Jonas Hector. And you heard the cry of anguish from Kuhn. It's yellow for Hector. And an argument between Jonas Hector and Simon Terodde. Both shouting at each other. Kainz is on the ground. Well, there was Hector. Seemed to have been shoved initially. And the challenge that the referee, Robert Schröder, took a dim view of. Hence the booking for the Köln skipper. Can they see this out? Kainz back on his feet. It's going to be the left-footed Niemeyer to take it. And it comes from Niemeyer for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Off the head of Lorch. Harmlessly behind for the goal kick. Now, Timo Horn will doubtless be asked questions about his error earlier, which really let Wiesbaden back into the game after Kainz had set up the first Köln goal and then scored the second. And make no mistake, journalists and fans, journalists who cover Köln, fans who follow them, never afraid to create a soap opera out of it. And a chance here for Wehen-Wiesbaden. Would you believe it? 3-3. Daniel Kofi Géré has levelled it again. Köln crestfallen. Astonishing. Well, there might have been a foul earlier. Let's watch. Modeste was bundled out of it by Mrovca, but no VAR, no video assist in the DFB-Pokal. And play raged on. There was the goal by Daniel Kofi Géré. 15 he managed last season in the Dritte Liga. Scored in both legs of the playoff against FC Ingolstadt. Over the head of Horn. And we might well have to fasten our seatbelts in anticipation of a penalty shootout. But wait a minute, Terode at the other end. Wiesbaden 3, Köln 3. I did say earlier, shades of what we saw in the Hoffenheim game yesterday in Würzburg, and that was before we got to 3-3. It was 3-3 after 120 minutes before Hoffenheim, the Bundesliga side, prevailed on penalty kicks. A couple of saves from Oliver Baumann in that penalty shootout. High drama. And there is nothing quite like the first round of the DFB-Pokal for that. Leathered forward by Vatkoviak. Up goes Modeste. Terode was coming back from an offside position. Didn't touch the ball anyway. Well, this Köln's 200th DFB-Pokal tie. And it's one that everyone is going to remember. Given the back and forth, they are going to have a couple of additional minutes here in the second period of extra time. Niemeyer had the chance to play it in. Guthurl had made himself available in the centre. Well, Marovca got away with it, you have to say. Modeste clearly fouled, but the referee saw no wrongdoing. And seconds later, the third Wehen-Wiesbaden goal. And now they go to the bench again. Franke is replaced by Gökhan Gül, a 21-year-old on loan again this season from Fortuna Düsseldorf. We are going to have 2 added minutes as over comes the corner, and Marovca on a painful one for him. Also for Jonas Hector. Just like that. Headed on by Rücker. And then the mischievous lob from Daniel Kofi Géré. 3 goals apiece. And Hector still down. So we're going to go beyond the 2 additional minutes. Achim Bayerlorzer, his first competitive match in charge of Köln. Rüdiger Rehm has been at the Wehen-Wiesbaden helm going all the way back to February 2017. The Köln Brain Trust. Alexander Werle, Toni Schumacher. They've been put through the mill in this game as well. Appeals from the Wehen-Wiesbaden players. We've had the 2 minutes now. Because of that last stoppage, should be a bit more time. Headed on by Modeste. It's nodded down by Mockenhaupt. All eyes on the referee, Robert Schröder. And there it is. The end of 120 minutes, and they cannot be separated when it looked again as though Köln were going to make certain of victory. Wehen-Wiesbaden had their own views on that. Daniel Kofi Géré on 118 minutes. 3-3, and now to penalty kicks. Timo Horn will be front and centre, along with Lukas Vatkoviak. Only made a couple of spectacular stops in the 90 minutes that Kowiak. Horn, who's always critical of himself, and he has to be, well, I'm sure acknowledged that it was a mistake on his part, going back to the first Wehen-Wiesbaden goal of the game. Wehen-Wiesbaden only once before have been involved in a penalty shootout in the DFB-Pokal. Season 2014-2015, when they lost in the first round against Kaiserslautern. Köln, on the other hand, 11 previous penalty shootouts. They've only been successful in 3 of them. They did lose to Schalke on penalties in the second round last term. Actually lost their first 5 penalty shootouts in the DFB-Pokal. Well, now it comes down to this, a penalty shootout. They're in the hands of the football gods, the old and the new. Will they judge them justly? Both sets of players in their huddles. Interesting that Rudiger is trying to look into the eyes of just about every player, deliver a clear message, no doubt, about how to approach this penalty shootout. Timo Horn, vastly experienced Köln goalkeeper, is never in any doubt about wanting to stay with the club, with FC, following relegation. Not everyone would have made that choice, but he has Köln in his blood. Well, Röker there not moving very freely at all. I don't think he's going to want to be taking a penalty kick. I don't think Wehen-Wiesbaden are going to want to have him take a penalty either. He was barely moving towards the end of the 120 minutes. And the final checks being made by the officials. The lists have been compiled. So they expect to see Simon Terodde try his luck from the penalty spot. The toss of the coin is always interesting. Of course, the statistics favour quite heavily the team kicking first in any penalty shootout. It's up at around almost 60% worldwide, going back over a number of years for the team going first. Just trying to work out Wehen-Wiesbaden who will be handed the responsibility, and it is a considerable responsibility. To decide which goal is always important too. So though it's going to be the goal away to our right, and that's where the Köln fans are. Jonas Hector, the captain. So Timo Horn ready to get on with it, being serenaded by the Köln supporters in the Südtribüne. Not really known, though, as the man you would put your life on to save penalties, has many other qualities. So we'll see what he can do here. First of all, facing Moritz Kuhn. Kuhn, the right back for Wehen-Wiesbaden. First kick in this penalty shootout. The referee, final words to Timo Horn. Remember, he's got to keep one foot on the line under the new interpretation. But no video assist in place in the early round to the DFB-Pokal. Here we go. Kuhn scores first in the penalty shootout for Wehen-Wiesbaden. And Horn gambling on direction and losing that particular battle. So job done by Kuhn. It's going to be Vatkoviak now to face Simon Terodde. Well, here he is, Terodde for Köln. Managed to get it in. It was a close run thing, as Vatkoviak looked as though he was close to preventing it. Well, he did get his gloves to the ball, he knows it. 1-1. And Terodde is relieved. Well, you just wonder who's going to be the first to miss or to be denied. Gökhan Gül, who only came on right at the end of the second period of extra time. And Gül, Horn with a save. It was a weak penalty in fairness. And Timo Horn savours the moment. Able to catch it cleanly. And Gül is the player to be disappointed. But it really was not a very good attempt. Florian Kainz scored that cracking goal towards the end of the first half. And in it goes. Again, with not too much to spare. But Köln 100% up to this point. Actually, looking at that again, it really was the perfect penalty. Vatkoviak deserves credit for managing to guess correctly once more. So Gudhörl, another of the substitutes, Michael Gudhörl for Wehen-Wiesbaden. They've been foiled by Horn once already. Gudhörl, Horn, another save! It's going Köln's way in the shootout. Michael Gudhörl with the right foot. And Timo Horn, well, looked as though he was off his line with both feet, but no way of checking that by means of video. And he jumps for joy. Anthony Modeste is next for Köln. Heads bowed in the Wehen-Wiesbaden camp. Modeste. No! Vatkoviak again guessing correctly, this time the touch onto the post. And that changes things a bit. There it was, off his gloves, off the post. And Köln still have work to do. Hasn't really been Anthony Modeste's night, you've got to conclude. Well, Horn again, and this time he's up against Daniel Kofi Géré, who did beat Timo Horn near the end of the second period of extra time with that delightful lob. I know they really need this one, Wehen-Wiesbaden. But Horn, the hero in the penalty shootout for Köln. It's just not happening for Wiesbaden. Géré denied by Timo Horn. Well, that's 3 saves. And Köln, the fans know it's getting close now. This is it. Jonas Hector can truly play the captain's part for Köln, but no! Vatkoviak, his second save. Goodness gracious me. Well, everyone feeling the pressure, including Jonas Hector. It was far from ideal as penalties go. Comfortable for the keeper. Well, they've got to make this one count, and they do. Marvin Ajani for Wehen-Wiesbaden, but still Köln have the power, and it's going to be left to one of the newcomers, Birger Verstraete, to settle the issue. Ajani scoring with his penalty. Verstraete, who helped Gent get to the final of the Belgian Cup last season. They lost to Mechelen. This to decide it. Verstraete, he's done it! And Köln have done it! Through to the second round of the DFB-Pokal. But quite a few frights along the way here in Wiesbaden for FC. Well, a highly dramatic penalty shootout. And the goalkeepers really were the stars, Timo Horn and Lukas Vatkowiak. But in the end, Birger Verstraete slotting it home with authority and able to celebrate in front of those Köln fans. 1,200 of them have made their way down from the Rhineland. Knew what he was going to do all along, Verstraete. And that is certainly the way to launch your career with Köln. Timo Horn thanking Verstraete. Terodde, who scored his penalty earlier. Köln have done it. 3-3 after 120 minutes. And it's FC prevailing on penalties. Wehen-Wiesbaden bow out of the DFB-Pokal. The story of the game, 3-2 on penalties after 3-3 following extra time. Köln were never behind all night. Yet still you wondered if they might let it slip in the end. Timo Horn, as we said, not known for his penalty-saving exploits, but did the job when he had to in that shootout here at the Brita Arena. Well, the Köln players, as they do when the team is successful, thanking the fans, and they are so very passionate about their club. Remember, the Bundesliga campaign to start next week. It's a difficult start for Köln, away to Wolfsburg, and then their first home match at the Rhein-Energiestadion will be against Borussia Dortmund. But the main thing is, from the Köln point of view, they are through on a night of many twists and turns here in the capital of Hessen. Köln will be in the second round of the DFB-Pokal. I very much hope you've enjoyed our coverage. From me, Derek Ray, until next time, it's goodbye from Wiesbaden.